Hi everyone, and welcome to Yoga with Anna here at PCS&M Church. It is Reset Wednesday, so welcome back to Reset Your Week. We have a couple members here in studio with us today. Welcome, and I'm so grateful that we have a little energy in the room besides mine and Stan's, who's behind the camera, which I always love your energy, Stan. He keeps me straight. And grounded. So we are here today to slow down and regulate our nervous systems as we do every week. We have Sandy that isn't here with us today. She is in Missouri at a cannabis conference. Go girl! And learning and spreading the word on medicinal cannabis and sharing space with our Green Network providers who are cannabis nurses who are amazingly educated in the medicinal qualities of cannabis and how we can apply that plant medicine to our lives and whatever is going on with our bodies. So before I get into our practice, I'm going to cover our events today. So tonight we have the midweek vibe check with Matt, and that starts at 7. And so he brings in some breath work, checks in with how your midweek is going in the evening. So if you can't make the midday with midweek reset, you can always join Matt tonight at 7. And then we have Friday, May 10th, we have our wonderful Kathleen coming in, who is an herbalist, and she is going to be doing an herbal spa night. And so her products are Madcap, Moksha. Madcap Moksha. And her products are here in the store. So come check it out on Friday. Make sure that you RSVP for any of these events so we know that you're coming and we have space, because space is limited. So always RSVP if you can. And then on Saturday, we have our Soul Saturday from noon to 3. So high noon begins Soul Saturday with DJ Nick Minieri. So that'll be exciting too, to come listen to music and come be in community with us. It is family friendly, bring your kiddos. And it's really the time and place that we celebrate our sacrament of music. So we come together, have a good time, and check in, see new friends, meet new friends, see old friends, and vibe with the music. So that is Saturday. And then, of course, next Tuesday, we do have Rise Up Breathwork with Matt as well at 11 in the morning. And yeah, so here we are. And next week, I actually won't be here. So the programming will change for next Wednesday. I will return the following Wednesday. I'm heading to California to see my family, which is very exciting. Lots of graduations already. So I think that's everything, right? All right. So Sandy, we miss you. Miss your energy here, but so glad that you are out where you are. We are here to ground in, slow down, and regulate our nervous system. So what came in today? So I was listening to a podcast this morning and on yoga therapy, because of course you guys already know, and you may or may not know, that I'm a yoga therapist, and so I use yoga or apply yoga in a therapeutic way to help harmonize and bring our bodies back into homeostasis. So that is balancing the body and our energy. And so I was listening to a yoga therapy podcast, and there were 2 quotes that came out that stood out to me that I wanted to share. The first one is, so yoga therapy is a holistic practice. So when you come to yoga therapy, you're either recovering from an injury or illness, or you want to explore things that are going on in your body. Maybe you've come to a point where you've tried other therapies and you're hitting a wall and want to explore other therapies, yoga therapy is a wonderful way to get reacquainted with yourself and your body, mind, and spirit. So I never diagnose, I'm not medical or anything like that. So that is the disclosure that I don't diagnose or anything like that. But we do go through your health and get a baseline for where you are. So we target goals that you want to work on. So in this podcast, just as yoga therapy is a holistic practice, so is chiropractic, so is Ayurveda, which is the sister science to yoga. And the quotes that I'm going to share with you is, being that it was a yoga therapy interview with a chiropractor that's called Optimal Health in Minnesota, his approach to overall wellness is so interesting because not only do they focus on the bones, but they also focus on the spine, the nerves, what's inside the bones. And so do I. I'm always saying lengthen, 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 right? So we create space between the vertebrae so that we have all these, because we want to give our nerves space because the nerves reach out to all sorts of our parts of our bodies, which is why yoga is such a sensory practice. So the quote that I wanted to share is from Dee Dee Palmer, who brought chiropractic into being, and she said that life is the expression of tone. Isn't that cool? Life is the expression of tone. And we're constantly talking about frequencies here, raising the frequency, which is tone. Sound baths are tones. And when we work with the spine and our emotions, it is really about tone and also frequency. Another quote that I want to share is directly from the chiropractor Kevin Holman, and he says, "It does take more frequency to create change." So the more we practice and move our energy and create a higher and better frequency for ourselves, for our bodies, the more we can create homeostasis in the body and create more harmony within the layers that I always talk about, the layers of being. So one of the things that creates harmony, and as we raise our frequency, is consistency and discipline. And I also wanted to remind our viewers that, and our in studio, that we do have a Yamas and Niyamas book circle going on, and we will be meeting again in June. I'm having a little accident here. Let me bring that up really quick. So we will be meeting again in June 8th at noon. So, and the reason I'm bringing that up also is because discipline came up in this podcast, because when we are disciplined with our practice, we see change, and it does take frequency to create change in our body. So discipline becomes very important and is one of the tenets of the niyamas, tapas. Tapas is self-discipline, and it is something that we try to practice in our observances of how we live our lives. What are we being disciplined in, and what are we doing consistently in our lives to create better harmony and raise our vibration in our bodies so that we can feel whole and we can come to a homeostasis state of being. So let's begin and come to that place of harmony with ourselves by sitting up nice and tall and finding your seat, and find what's comfortable for you. If you're comfortable with your legs extended, legs crossed, sitting in a chair or lying down, it's all up to you. Coming as you are to this practice is very important. Meeting your bodies wherever they are today is also very important in every practice. And just know that everyone's practice is going to look differently. There's always variations of different movements. And we come to this practice with an open heart and an open mind to get in touch with our bodies, mind, and spirit. So sitting up nice and tall, beginning to soften the gaze or close your eyes, and beginning to settle into your breath in and out the nose. Noticing the breath and how it feels as it comes in through the nostrils. And noticing how the exhale feels as the breath leaves the body through the nostrils. So we're not changing anything at the moment. We're only observing our breath. And also observing how we are feeling. How we're feeling with our emotions. How we are feeling in our bodies. Noticing if our mind is still speaking and jumping around to the next to do. And if that's happening and your mind is distracting you, come back to your breath. Begin to deepen your breath. Really feel that breath come in, expanding the diaphragm, expanding the belly, and as you exhale, gently feeling the belly fall and the chest fall and your shoulders soften. Hands relaxed on the body, or hands can be in any position that's comfortable for you. Inviting you to begin to scan your body from the tips of your toes to just notice what your body is saying to you. Notice if there's any tension as you travel up the legs towards the hips, low back, and abdomen. Traveling up the body towards the heart center. Noticing any tension there or ease. And if at any point you need to move your body, please feel free to do so. Traveling up towards the shoulders, down the arms, down to the fingertips. And maybe wiggling the fingers just to notice that they're there in space. And then traveling back those sensations of awareness up the arms, towards the shoulders once again, back of the shoulders, back of the neck, throat center. And notice what you feel in your throat, our communication center. traveling up towards the crown and scanning, releasing tension in the jaw, tension in the face. Maybe bringing a smile to the face, relaxing the muscles of the face. And awareness to the crown of the head as we gently lengthen the spine towards the sky. As we come back to our breath, revisit the heart center and step into your intention. Why are you here? You don't have to have an answer. Questioning, what are you practicing for? And then when you're ready, gently fluttering the eyes open. Maybe extending the legs if you have crossed the legs. And gently bending the knees, loosening the legs. And then let's come onto our backs. So remember, if there's anything that you want to see in this practice, comment on the Facebook page, comment in the YouTube channel. So coming to our backs, we're going to take a full body stretch. So arms over the head, legs extended opposite directions. And then we're going to bring the knees to the chest. A little squeeze and a little rock side to side. And then if it feels good, taking the hands to the tops of the knees and beginning to circle the knees. Any direction. And then in the opposite direction. Coming back to stillness and then extending the body in opposite directions, arms over the head, full body stretch. And then take that right knee to chest, a gentle squeeze in towards the body. And then see what it feels like to flex the feet. Maybe pointing that right foot and then gently rotating the ankle in both directions. And then again flexing and pointing. And then take another full body stretch. Reach for that left knee to chest. Gently squeeze in, flex both feet. And then awareness to that left ankle, beginning to rotate, pointing, flexing. And then again, full body stretch. From here, arms can come by your side, bend the knees, or you can take the arms into a half T and gently begin to windshield wiper the knees side to side. All right, from here, feet move closer to the buttocks and arms by your side, or again, you can take them to a half T. And feet are about hip distance apart. And we're going to come into those pelvic tilts. So on the inhale, we're gently going to tilt the hips forward without lifting the hips and create that flat back at the lower back. On the exhale, we're going to gently tilt the tail back, creating a nice arch in the spine. Inhale, gently tilting forward, feeling the low back touch the mat or ground into your mat, and then on the exhale, gently tilting the hips back, creating that arch. So take a few breaths here as you tilt the hips back and forth. Bringing some gentle movement. It's great for that low back discomfort. And then come back to center. From here, knees to chest. And then gently take those knees wide. You can flex and point and rotate the ankles here. And then bring those knees back together. Take the arms into a T and then gently take those knees to the right side. And you can take them all the way to the floor if you're comfortable, or just let them float. And then gently bring those knees back to center and then take them over to the left side. Come back to center, repeating on the right side. And then gently coming to center and taking them over to the left side. And then come back to center. From here, take the legs up to the sky, flex the feet. Feel the extension of the hamstrings as you extend the legs long, and then cycle the legs. And then take it in the opposite direction. Sorry, that's my crookedly sneeze. And then twirl the ankles. And then float those legs down. All right, from here, we're going to take the hands to the fronts of the knees and we're going to massage our back by gently rocking. So we're going to rock up and down. If this is uncomfortable, just come to seated and we'll meet there. And then when you're ready, gently coming back to a seated position. Find yourself in tabletop. And we're going to stack those shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. And then take a peek between the knees and see if your feet are turning or your legs are going in. Take those legs behind the knees so they disappear behind the knees. Spread the fingers nice and wide, really gripping that mat. On the inhale, we're going to cat-cow here and extend into cow pose. Taking the gaze up towards the sky or straight ahead, just depending on your comfort. On the exhale, we're going to take that chin towards the chest, gently rounding in and tucking the tail. Inhale, drop the abdomen down towards the mat, tilt the tail, take the gaze up. Exhale, gently round in, tucking the tail, chin to chest. Continue with your breath, syncing the breath and the movement. Just noticing what you're feeling as you move your body. What is speaking to you as you move? Are you feeling something in your low back as you round in? Are you feeling your neck and shoulders? Or is everything at ease? Just observing. Last set here. As we inhale and extend, and then on the exhale, round in, and then find your neutral spine back to tabletop. All right, from here, we're going to shift the hips back and forth, and then take the hips to the right side, press the hips to the right, and you'll feel that hip gently stretch, and then bring it to the left side, press towards the left side, and feel it there. Begin to circle the hips, moving the body in a circular direction. opposite direction when you're ready. All right, from here, coming back to center, let's gently take those hips back towards the heels. Extend the arms back a little. Bow here as we take child's pose briefly, and then inhale. We're going to rise up and press forward, pressing the heart forward and shoulders back. Inhale, gently take those hips back towards the heels, and on the exhale, extend forward. So notice that we're moving in a circular direction here as we come back and extend in circles. We're moving the body up and back, forward and up and back. And then we can take it forward, extend, and then come back. Take it up and forward, and then find your way down towards that brief child's pose, and then come back to center. All right, so from here again, finding your hands underneath your shoulders. Let's extend that right leg back, ground the toes, and press through the heel. A gentle shift forward, lift that leg, bend the knee, and open up to the right side. Take the gaze with it. Flex the foot here, and you can even rotate the ankle if that feels good to you. And then bring the gaze back between the hands and then circle the hip. And then take it in the opposite direction. Extend that leg long. We're going to go into extended tabletop. Reach forward with that left hand. That left arm palm facing in. Extend in opposite direction. Navel pulls in. Bring everything back to table and then shift the hips left and right. How you guys doing? Good? All right, so we're going to repeat on the left side. We're going to take that left leg, ground the toes, and reach that heel back. Shift forward, lift the leg, bend the knee, and we're going to open up to the left side. Take the gaze with it. And then bring the gaze back to center and circle the hip. So remember, anything that is done in a downward facing dog, almost anything can also be done in tabletop if down dog isn't comfortable. So take the rotation in the opposite direction. And then come back to center. We're going to extend that left leg long, reach long with that right arm. So extend the tabletop here. Pull the navel in. Extend in opposite directions, and then gently bring everything back to your tabletop. Shift the hips left and right, and then circle the hips. Both directions. And then let's come into a child's pose. A wide-legged child's pose. So we're going to take the knees wide to the width of the mat. Let your toes touch if they're able to, and then gently shift the hips back. Extend the arms forward. Melt the heart towards the mat. Maybe grounding that third eye and giving it a little massage. Let's walk those hands to the right side, and then maybe layering that left palm over the top. Bring your awareness to your left hip and let that left hip reach towards that left heel. Last breath here, and then we walk to center And then walk those hands over to the left side, maybe layering that right hand on the left, top of the left hand. And then feel that stretch in the right side rib cage, all the way from the fingertips through the armpit, all the way down to that right hip as it extends towards that right heel. One more breath here, and then let's walk to center. Shift those hips back. Take a little bow, and then walk the hands back towards the knees. Find your tabletop. All right, so we're going to stretch the backs of the shoulders. We're going to thread the needle, but we're going to flow first. So we'll start on the right side. On the inhale, we're going to take that palm, that arm up, and we're going to follow the palm with our gaze and then gently lower. And then inhale, bring it up again. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale, follow that palm, and then on the exhale, this time we're going to weave that right arm through underneath that left arm, drop that right shoulder, and that left temple is going to come down. Option here to extend that left arm forward, just in front of you, or you can keep the hand close to you, just depending on what you want to feel. As you settle into the shoulder, so micro movements matter. So little tiny movements, you can feel a really big difference in the body. So even shifting the hips a little bit can change the stretch in the shoulder. If you want to explore the stretch in the front of that left shoulder, you can bring that arm behind you to your low back. Nice deep breaths. And then gently releasing that bind, extending that arm forward, maybe reaching those hips back towards the heels as you get into that right shoulder. For those of you who want to take a balancing pose, you can take the hand, the palm, that left palm, in front of your face. As you gently press that palm down, you're going to take that opposite leg, that left leg, up to the sky. So it's opposite the right shoulder. So that's if you want to come into a little balance here. Use your breath. Remember, it's not how high you go, it's just how your body feels. Gently bring that leg back if you've lifted it. And then on the next breath, we're going to lift the head, lift the shoulder, come back and extend that arm up to the sky and float it back down. Come back to your tabletop position. Little circle of the hips to create a little movement. And then come back to center, and we're going to do the same thing on the left side. So we're going to flow, following the palm. So we're exercising our gaze here. And on the exhale, we're going to weave it through. Inhale, reach up. Follow the palm with your eyes. Inhale, reach up. And then that was the third one. So we're going to drop that left shoulder down, left temple down, and we're going to walk that right hand forward to extend that right arm. So being on the shoulder, your palm can be facing up on that left hand, or if you want to explore what it feels like to rotate the palm down, you're internally rotating that shoulder. So it's just an exploration, and then find what feels good to you. Again, micro movements make a difference. So a little exploration of shifting the hips, reaching back. And again, if you want to open up the front of the right shoulder, you're going to take that right arm behind you and take a bind. So just going to reach back. You can place the hand on the low back or reach further to open up the front of that shoulder. Take one more breath here. Release that right arm. Bring it forward. If you want to hang out here, you can, or you can bring that palm back in front or almost underneath that right shoulder. It's in front of your face, so you're just looking at your palm here, and we're going to go into that balancing pose. So we're going to lift that right leg up. Come into a little balance. Stabilize, pull your navel in, and then bring that leg back. From here, gently pressing back up, follow the palm with your eyes, reaching back up, and then lowering it back down. Find your tabletop. Circle the hips or move them side to side, anything that feels good. Also moving the shoulders. All right. From here, let's curl the toes under. We're going to use our body weight here, lifting the knees and taking a low hover. Pull the navel in. Then we're going to press back into downward facing dog. We're going to walk our dog here, gazing between the ankles, but keeping that head parallel to the arms. So just exploring the sensations in the backs of the legs, all the way up towards the hips. And then bring your awareness to your heart center. Gently press the heart towards the thighs. Nice deep breaths. And then from here, lift the heels, take the gaze between the hands, and we're going to come back to a hover. Shift back to downward facing dog. And then lift the heels, bend the knees, take another little hover. And then we're going to extend our legs and begin to walk them towards our hands. Come to a forward fold at the top of the mat. We're going to ragdoll here, allowing the upper body to feel heavy. If this is uncomfortable, just gently lift the body up a little higher. Sometimes compression in the tummy or in the midsection here can feel uncomfortable. You can just gently lift the body, let the head and the shoulders feel heavy. Let the shoulders and the arms dangle. And you can take a little sway. You can even take a bind here, taking elbow to elbow, opposite hands and opposite elbows, and take a little sway. If your hands are touching the mat and you want to take the forward fold a little deeper, I can invite you to step on your fingers. And we're going to do a little half lift here. So don't feel pressure to do this at all if your hands aren't reaching. This is just to take the stretch a little more deeply. If not, you're going to be staying in your ragdoll. So stepping on the fingers, you're going to do a gentle half lift here to lengthen through the crown. Nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, elbows are going to draw towards the shins and the crown is going to draw towards the earth. Breathing deeply, being very gentle with your back and with your stretch. And then releasing the hands. Let your upper body feel heavy, soft bend in the knees, and then gently rolling up slowly. Really grounding those feet in, coming to standing, and then we find our mountain pose. So from the ground up, in our mountain, arms by your side, feet about hip distance apart or maybe a little together, your comfort, in the shape of a number 11, toes pointing forward, heels behind the toes, from the ground up. So we're going to really feel those feet ground in, and you can take a little sway of the body forward and back just to feel the weight distribution in your feet. And then even going side to side to feel the weight distribution there. So when you're noticing how that feels, you're really taking that gaze internally to come in touch with your sensations. All right, let's draw that energy up. The quads are going to lift. You're going to tone your legs. So the kneecaps will lift. So I have a lot of students that have knee replacements and hip replacements. So a lot of the time I can't say your kneecaps will lift because once I got told I don't have kneecaps. So what you'll feel is the quad pull up. Okay, so whether you have a knee replacement or not, you're going to feel those quads pull up, kneecaps will lift, instep of the feet will lift. So that arch in the foot will draw up, okay? And I want you to feel that. Release the legs, let the legs relax. Bring the awareness to the feet, to the instep of the feet, and then tone the thighs and notice how your insteps lift. So it's really good exercise to strengthen the arch of your feet. So if you're flat-footed, it can really help if you have plantar fasciitis. You can exercise by creating strength in the thighs and being mindful of that movement when the insteps lift. All right, so from here, that's lifting. The glutes are going to slide very subtly down as you tone those thighs. Pull the navel in and up, and the chest is going to rise. Bring the shoulders to the ears, and then roll them back. Reach those wrists towards the earth. Lengthen through the crown. So here you're beating, defying gravity, and growing taller. All right, let's inhale, arms come up. We're going to gently swan dive down to your forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins for your half lift. Extend through the crown, draw those shoulders back, pull the navel in. On the exhale, so take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, take another forward fold. We're going to roll up once again, slowly. Chin parallel to the floor. When you rise, feel your mountain. And then inhale, arms come up. Exhale, swan dive down. Bend the knees as much as it feels good to come down into your forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins to lengthen. Exhale, plant both palms down. Step back with both feet. Option here to take full plank or modified plank. All right, so once here, let's drop the knees if they're not already there. Come all the way down to the mat. Hands underneath the shoulders. Tuck those elbows close to the body. And then chin is at the mat. Press all 10 toes in to the mat and lift the chest. Slide the heart forward, coming into cobra pose, and then gently lower back down. Extend the arms by your side. Option here, we're going to lift the chest again, but your option here is to interlace the fingers to open up the fronts of the shoulders, or to just reach back and lift the chest. So lifting with arms by your side is going to look just so. Interlacing the fingers is going to look like this as well. Okay? So take whichever you decide. On the next breath, we're going to lift the chest, gaze forward, press 10 toes in, reach those shoulders back, and then gently lower. Release the bind here. Arms by your side. Take that left cheek to the mat. And then if it feels good, you can bend the knees and gently windshield wiper side to side. Move the legs however it feels good. And then lower those legs back down. Chin comes back to the center of the mat. And then take your bind if you're going to take it, or arms by your side. Press all 10 toes in to the mat. Inhale, lift the chest, reach those wrists back. And then exhale, lower back down. Release the bind if you've taken it. Right cheek to the mat. One more breath here. And then bring those hands underneath the shoulders. Gently lifting back up to your tabletop. Curl the toes under, lift into your down dog. And then walk your feet to meet your hands, forward fold. A little bend in the knees. Inhale, root to rise. Come all the way up. Arms parallel to the ears. Sit in your chair. So we're coming to Utkatasana. Shift the weight to the heels. Gaze forward. Pull the navel in. Arms as parallel to the head as you can take them. If there's any high blood pressure issues, you can lower the arms, because as you lift those arms and continue to breathe, your heart rate is going to rise. Your mind is going to begin to speak, and you're going to feel uncomfortable. So your focus is your breath. You can do this. Take 3 more breaths here. Shift the weight to the heels. Pull the navel in. Lift the heart. Sit a little lower. Beautiful. Remember, the body follows the gaze. So if you're looking down, the body's going to want to go down. Stay nice and lifted. Hands come to the heart. You got this. Let's release and forward fold. Beautiful. Hands on the shins, lengthening for your half lift. And then root to rise again. Come all the way back up. Palms touch. Palms come to heart. Inhale, reach those palms high. And then gently take that right hand to the left wrist and arch over to the right side. Come back to center and switch sides. Inhale, lengthen that right arm and gently arch to the left side. Come back to center and gently roll, float those arms down, roll the shoulders. And then roll them forward. You can bend the knees here to engage the entire body. All right, and we're going to get into second set chair. On the inhale, actually take a peek at your feet. Make sure that they're nice and parallel to each other. And on the next breath, arms reach up. Sit in your chair. So you're going to shift that weight to the heels. Navel pulls in. Lift the heart. And sit a little lower. You've got this. Use your breath in and out the nose. Mind's going to say, I do not like this at all. So come to your breath. Quiet the mind with the breath. One more breath. You got this. Hands come back to heart. Take that forward fold to release. Hands on the shins, lengthening the spine through the crown. Exhale, plant those palms, step back with both feet, lower the knees. Gently shift those hips back and walk the hands towards the knees. And then we're going to take a nice deep breath in, lift the hips up high, arms come up, gently reach back, press the hips forward, and on the exhale, you're going to hide out and take a bow. Inhale, reach up, reach back, press the hips forward, exhale, hide out. One more, reach up, reach back. And, all right, so let's reach up here. Float the arms down, shift the hips back down, and then shift the hips to one side. We're going to come back to the mat on our backs. So bend the knees here, take the arms behind you, and gently windshield wiper, or you can take the feet wide. And then bring the feet back, hip distance apart, reach forward, and see if you can come down slowly using your core. Ground the toes, using your core here. And it's okay to come down fast if you're not used to doing this. You will build towards it. Head comes down last. Take the knees to chest. Little rock side to side. Full body stretch. Arms over the head. And then gently take that right knee to chest. Squeeze it in. And then carry that knee towards that right shoulder. Bring it back to center. Take that left hand and guide that right knee across the body. Extend that right arm to a half T and take your twist. Come back to center slowly. Squeeze back in. Full body stretch. And we reach for that left knee to chest. Take that knee towards the left shoulder. Flex both feet. Bring it back to center. Let that right hand guide that knee across the body. Left arm extends. Take the gaze over to the left fingertips. Come back to center. A little squeeze of that knee. And then take another full body stretch. All right. So let's bend the knees, come into supine pigeon, take that right ankle to the top of the left thigh. On the inhale, we're going to reach through the legs, interlace the fingers underneath that left thigh, flex both feet, and gently begin to pull the thigh towards you. So naturally, that right elbow is going to come closer to that inner right thigh the closer you pull that left thigh towards you. So if you're there, you can help guide that hip a little towards the right side, so opening up that hip a little bit more. So you'll feel it in that piriformis. And then gently release. Switch sides. Left ankle to the top of the right knee. And then weave those hands through the legs, interlace the fingers underneath that right thigh, flex both feet, and begin to gently pull that thigh towards you. So use your breath here. It's going to feel really tight. Possibly breathe into the sensations as they begin to loosen the tightness through your breath. And again, exploration of even lifting the leg high or keeping the knee bent. That's really up to how your body feels in exploring those movements. Draw those shoulders down towards the mat. Slight tuck of the chin. One more breath. And gently release. Take the arms to a T and gently release the hips, windshield wiper side to side. And then take the legs up to the sky. Gently cycle the legs all the way down, maybe taking a reverse, and then find your way to your mat. So any last minute moves you'd like to bring in or stretches. You can take a full body stretch if you'd like. Just to settle the body in as we come into Shavasana, the most important pose of all, and everyone's favorite pose. Palms face up, maybe tucking the shoulders underneath the body, and let your toes fall open. You can even take the legs wide if that feels good. Allow your eyes to close. Let the eyes sink into their sockets. Begin to feel your body feel heavy, feeling the places where your mat is making contact beneath your body. And come into that sensation of floating, still feeling nice and supported from the back of the head all the way down to your heels. So I invite you to stay right where you are for the moment as I gently come back up. Maybe coming back and revisiting your intention. Through your practice today, you have added to your discipline of wellness, and I commend you for that. It's not easy to show up for yourselves, and the hardest part of all is arriving, and you have arrived. Let's begin to gently come back into our bodies, wiggling the toes, subtle movement to the fingers. And if it feels good, like you're waking up, you can take a full body stretch. You can take your knees into chest. And then when you're ready, with the knees bent, you can roll over to your right side as you cradle your head and take a moment here. You're welcome to ground your third eye. And when you're ready, using your hands to gently press your body weight back up to seated, meeting me with our hands in prayer position or Anjali Mudra, eyes soft or closed. To seal class today, inviting you to join me in bringing our prayer hands to our third eye as a reminder to think kind thoughts, to our lips to speak kind words, and back down to our hearts as a reminder to live life fully with love, joy, self-discipline, courage, inner strength, and lots of grace. May our thoughts, words, and actions always be heart-led and divinely guided. As I take a deep bow of gratitude to all of you, Namaste. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment.